I know you don't. I know you don't. I know. You don't.
Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas. His going to prison.
I said a while ago when T.I.'s son King was getting a lot of flack and a lot of heat in the media, that to me he just looked like a young kid that wanted to prove to his father that he was a man too.
Tiny just dropped a bombshell. She slammed T.I. with divorce papers right after their son King Harris's latest run-in with the law. And the wildest part? T.I. isn't even putting up a fight. He's not trying to fix the marriage, not trying to smooth things over. Nothing. Now the whole family is in chaos, pointing fingers at each other, and the drama is tearing their world apart. People can't stop debating who's really to blame for this meltdown. Were the parents who gave King everything at fault, or was it King himself, tossing away his privilege just to chase a reckless street lifestyle? The divorce may feel shocking to outsiders, especially since T.I. and Tiny had been together for decades, riding through storms and scandals side by side. But behind closed doors, their marriage had cracks for years, and October 2024 was the breaking point. King's outrageous arrest pushed everything into the spotlight and shattered whatever was left holding them together. Here's how it all went down. King was whipping his BMW out of a gas station, driving wild like usual when he almost smashed straight into a police car. Talk about bad timing. The cops pulled him over, and right away, things spiraled out of control. Officers said the smell of weed hit them before they even leaned into the car, and then, bam, they spotted a gun tucked into his waistband. That alone had him in deep trouble. They snatched the gun, slapped cuffs on him, but the real shock came when they ran his name in the system. Turns out King wasn't just facing that night's mess. He had an outstanding arrest warrant dating back to 2022. Overspeeding, driving with a suspended license, and even a DUI were sitting on his record waiting to explode. With all that stacked against him, this situation turned from bad to catastrophic in seconds.
All right, I need you to step out the vehicle.
What you want to do? You want to take my gun off my head?
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well?
What's the gun for her?
All right, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You got to take the
There's no safety.
take the clip out.
Well, I'm not going to mess around with that too much. Let me just set this down right here. Dude, step out for me. Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. All right, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest. I'm going to be at the church. All right, I appreciate you being cool, man. We're just going to take a look at this information, make sure it's valid.
I ain't sure this.
Just take the step to the side for me.
King Harris's life spiraled even further when Tiny officially hit T.Y. with divorce papers right after his shocking arrest. And T.I., he didn't even lift a finger to stop it. No fight, no last-ditch effort, nothing. The silence made everything worse, and now the whole family is tangled up in finger-pointing and anger that's breaking them apart. People can't stop asking, who's at fault here? The parents who gave King a life of luxury, or King himself, who tossed it all away to live out some half-baked gangster fantasy? On the outside, the divorce shocked fans, because T.I. and Tiny had been together for decades, through highs, lows, and every scandal in between. But insiders knew the truth. There had been cracks for years. And October 2024 was the breaking point. King's wild arrest shoved the entire family under a microscope. And suddenly, nothing was the same. That night, King flew out of a gas station in his BMW, driving so reckless he almost smacked into a police cruiser. The timing couldn't have been worse, because when officers pulled him over, everything unraveled instantly. They smelled weed before they even reached the window, then spotted a gun stuffed into his waistband. That alone spelled trouble, but when they cuffed him and ran his name, boom! It all exploded. King had an outstanding warrant from 2022 just waiting to haunt him. Overspeeding, driving on a suspended license, and a DUI. Stacked charges that turned his arrest into a nightmare. The officers kept things calm, even talking him through the process. Step out the vehicle, place your hands behind your back. You're just being detained, not under arrest. They even told him, I appreciate you being cool, man, as they secured the weapon. But here's the kicker. King could have slipped through if he'd kept his head low, but instead his past came roaring back. The moment body cam footage leaked online, the internet went savage. In the 30-minute video, you could see the shift. King wasn't loud or arrogant this time. His eyes told it all. Regret, frustration, and the weight of knowing he'd finally crossed a line. For once, he kept calm, even impressing the arresting officer with how collected he stayed. Still, that didn't stop him from landing in DeKalb County Jail before being shifted to Pickens County once the old warrant was recalled. When the video went viral, fans dragged him nonstop. One person called him a trust fund prison punk, and that comment blew up with likes because people thought it was hilarious. Another fan went in harder, saying he acts like money can save him while pretending he came from the bottom. The internet was ruthless, but the fallout didn't just stop with King, it ripped right through his parents' marriage. I tried playing the heartbroken father role, but Tiny wasn't buying it. She was furious, and she backed it up with receipts in her divorce filings. She flat out listed King's downward spiral as the final straw that ended their marriage. And T.I., he didn't push back, didn't beg her to stay. He accepted it, saying he had done his duty as a father, and the rest was on King. As harsh as that sounded, there was history behind it. Back in 2022, when King first started going viral for reckless antics, T had already warned him. He literally begged his son to slow down, saying King was headed for jail if he didn't change. T.I. admitted he told Tiny and King's grandmother the same thing. They all had to keep an eye on him before he threw his life away. And when T.I. said it, it wasn't just empty talk. He spoke from experience, as someone who'd been behind bars and didn't want to see his own son walk the same destructive path.
Hitting me and giving me my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his going to prison. If you got to keep this up, his going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had the conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's going to turn out.
Tiny wasn't buying T.I.'s concerned father act. If anything, it gave her more firepower in the divorce battle. She straight up claimed that T.I. had failed his role as a dad, and if he had been more present and firm with King, their son wouldn't have drifted so far off track. And the truth is, she had a point. Back when Tiny first got pregnant with King, T.I. was already bouncing in and out of prison. By the time he finally came home for good, King had already learned what it felt like to grow up without a steady father figure. And even when T.I. was around, it didn't always help. He allegedly sent King off to live with his grandmother instead of raising him under his own roof. King himself once admitted that even though his parents were rich, he didn't actually grow up living that lifestyle because he spent most of his time at his grandma's house. He even claimed the only times he stayed at his parents' mansion were when cameras were rolling for their reality TV show. Imagine that, only being invited into your own parents' home when the lights were on and the world was watching. With an upbringing like that, it's no shock King went looking for excitement elsewhere. And every stunt he pulled just dragged him closer and closer to a prison sentence. One incident that showed just how far off the rails he had gone was his meltdown at a Waffle House back in 2022. It all started over something as small as a messed up order. An employee added pickles to his food when he hadn't asked for any. That tiny slip sparked a screaming match, with King going off on the worker like it was life or death. To make matters worse, King recorded the entire embarrassing scene and posted it online himself. Instead of making him look tough, the video made him look entitled and out of control, leaving fans questioning why T.I. was letting his son spiral unchecked.
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name?
What's your name?
My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show.
Come back.
What? On game what? Okay, what? Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here, I'll show you what I do. Come here.
When T.I. dropped that video warning King to slow down, Tiny was heated. She blasted him for trying to play concerned dad in front of the world when he should have been teaching and guiding King years ago. For a while, the fire between them cooled, but T.I.'s disappointment in his son kept bubbling up, and eventually, it spilled over in public during an Atlanta Falcons game. That's where things went from tense to explosive. It all kicked off when King made bold comments about not growing up with privilege. That hit a nerve with T.I., who jumped in fast to shut him down. He reminded King that he had grown up with a silver spoon, no matter how much he tried to act like life had been rough. But King wasn't having it. He fired back, and suddenly the argument wasn't just words anymore. Next thing you know, fists were flying. The crowd couldn't believe their eyes as father and son squared up right there in the stadium. The clip that leaked showed just how wild it got. T.I. looked ready to throw real punches like he'd forgotten he was dealing with his own son. The whole scene left fans shocked, shaking their heads at how messy things had become between them.
To make him look better, he said it he know not to. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, Tip used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the
You
fight.
cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every day.
I know you. You capping. I know you.
Shut up. Shut up.
I know you.
Ain't no mystery about here.
I know you though. I know you though.
Shut up.
I know you though. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me. You know I stand on business.
The clip of T.I. and King's stadium blow-up spread like wildfire online. Thousands of likes poured in within hours. People were actually praising T.I. for checking his son, saying things like, he should have busted him up long ago. And that's what happens when you don't discipline your kid. The problem turns on you. Others added, King been out of control. Pray for that family. The internet had its say, but Tiny wasn't clapping along. She was furious. To her, T.I. went way too far, humiliating their son in public. And she nearly lost it when she got home and found out T.I. had kicked King out altogether, told him to figure out life on his own. That was the breaking point for Tiny. In her eyes, T.I. had crossed a line no parent should, and that move ripped another crack straight through their marriage. When Tiny filed those divorce papers, she didn't hold back. She dragged in T.I.'s history of constant cheating and his violent past. For years, she had watched him step out on their marriage, then try to spin stories about how he was changing. But the lies piled up higher and higher. By the time King's reckless lifestyle hit the headlines, Tiny wasn't just mad at her son. She was staring at T.Y., realizing the same toxic cycle had never been broken. That's why she finally cut him off. What crushed Tiny the most was recognizing that King wasn't even carving out his own identity. He was just tracing T.Y.'s footsteps. The jail stints that once gave T.I. his tough guy reputation were the exact same blueprint King was crashing into. So when T.I. publicly disowned King after his arrest, Tiny snapped. To her, it was like he was rejecting his own reflection, pretending his son's downfall had nothing to do with him. Those divorce papers hit the table for real after that, and you can see how desperate King is for approval, always flashing guns online, trying to prove himself. After the arrest footage went viral, some fans even said King might have walked into that situation on purpose, just to score jail time and build his street rep. Others claimed he had finally earned the rugged title he'd been chasing for years. A lot of people think his antics were just a cry for his father's attention. And the proof is in the moments we've seen, like when T.I. and Boosie had to check their own sons on camera. King and Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, were shooting a music video. But instead of focusing on music, they were showing off guns like it was a trap house audition. That's when both dads stepped in. And T.I.'s disappointment was written all over his face. You could hear it in his voice as he grilled King, asking why he cared more about acting tough when there were girls right there watching. It turned into a full-on lecture, with T.I. and Boosie warning them straight up that one wrong move with those guns or having anything illegal nearby could wreck their entire futures. They weren't laughing. They weren't softening the blow. You could tell they meant every word in that moment.
So motherfucking 12 pull up and they say, hey, who do you belong to? Who raised their hand? Somebody got to raise their hand.
I've been seeing him around too here a lot.
You gonna raise your own hand?
I've been seeing him around too.
Huh?
But when you got drugs, it ain't like.
Nah.
Y'all got drugs around those legal guns.
That called
It's not legal.
possession of a firearm and commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony. Thank you.
On the outside, it might have looked like T.I. was finally stepping up, trying hard to drill into King's head that the road he was walking would only end in jail. But when Tiny caught wind of how he handled it, she wasn't impressed at all. In fact, she was furious. Not because she approved of King flashing guns and playing tough guy, but because she felt T.I. was way too late to be preaching now. From her point of view, King was only copying what he'd already seen his father do years ago. Watching T.Y., I act like the moral authority drove her over the edge. Because to Tiny, he was the one who'd set the example in the first place. And then came the moment that really broke her patience. King's messy baby mama drama. When T.I. casually dropped on a podcast that he was about to become a grandfather again, thanks to King expecting a child, Tiny nearly lost it. To her, it sounded like he wasn't just announcing the news. He was almost endorsing King's reckless choices. And the kicker? The entire situation was messy, complicated, and way too bizarre for T.I. to be spinning it like some proud family moment.
He just became a father, so I got 2 grandchildren now.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I got 2 granddaughters. I got a grandson on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment in this young one.
The rumors around King's baby mama, Big Nana, lit the internet on fire. Whispers started flying that she was way older than him, and some even claimed she only linked up with King to secure a bag. Critics said he was too immature to even see it. But King didn't care one bit. He brushed off all the talk like it was nothing. Instead of stressing over the drama, King leaned all the way into it. When their son was born in November 2024, he was over the moon, posting nonstop, bragging, and showing the world just how hyped he was to step into his new role as a father. For once, he wasn't playing street tough. He was proudly flaunting his new title, Dad.
A lot of people hit me up like, King, I know you tired, you ain't getting no sleep, and the truth be told, before this little I ain't been getting no sleep, you know what I'm saying? I just been outside working, lifestyle, lifestyle just lifing, you know what I'm saying? And, but now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. This up every morning, and then around the morning time, he like to do that little live concert I be doing with him. And, he like to walk around the house. So.
The whispers around King's baby mama, Big Nana, only grew louder. People swore she was way older than him, and plenty claimed she locked in with King just to secure a bag. Critics said he was too immature to notice, but King couldn't care less. He was hyped about becoming a dad, embracing the role with his whole chest. When his son was born in November 2024, King was glowing with pride. He bragged nonstop, sharing posts about his new baby and shutting out the hate. Folks even hit him up saying, King, I know you tired, you not getting any sleep. And King fired back, admitting, truth be told, before this, I wasn't sleeping anyway. I was just outside, grinding, living the lifestyle. But now, man, I'm really not getting no sleep. My baby up every morning putting on his little live concert, walking around the house, it's crazy. King even dropped a track called Dear Son, where he rapped about stepping into fatherhood. He captioned one post, November 5th, 8:09 a.m. Welcome King Jr., time to take over. For a moment, it looked like he was finally growing up. Like fatherhood was the one thing pulling him out of the chaos and teaching him patience. Tiny loved it most. She saw King stepping up, being present, and correcting the mistakes his own father had made when he was a baby. But the timing was brutal. While King was online playing proud dad, his arrest video was going viral all over again. The same internet that praised him for being a young father was clowning him for flashing guns, acting tough, and getting locked up. His past and present collided in the worst way. T.I. tried to stand by him publicly, But behind closed doors, his disappointment couldn't be hidden. He struggled to live under the same roof with King, and for Tiny, that was the ultimate betrayal. She could have overlooked the cheating, she could have swallowed the lies. But watching T.I. be ashamed of his own son cut her deeper than anything. So when those divorce papers landed, it wasn't a shock. It was the final blow to a marriage that had been splintering for years. And this time, Tiny's done. No more covering, no more protecting, no more excuses. The only question left is whether T.I. finally speaks up, or if his silence seals the end of their family for good.